Newton and the apple. The story that Isaac Newton was inspired to study the nature of gravity after an apple fell on his head is not true. According to William Stukeley, who wrote one of the earliest biographies of Newton and was also his colleague, Newton came up with the idea while sitting in contemplation and seeing an apple fall to the ground. The pyramids were built by slaves. New research suggests that the Egyptian pyramids were built by skilled workers. After further analysis of bone fragments, scientists discovered many instances of broken bones that had been healed, similar to those of nobility. Bone healing in ancient Egypt required a high level of skill and time, which was unlikely for slaves. Additionally, archaeologists found traces of numerous villages surrounding the pyramid areas, believed to be the residences of worker families. The construction also required fewer people and less time than previously estimated. Drowning. People nearby often find it difficult to recognize when someone is drowning. In most cases, the instinctive drowning response prevents the victim from waving or shouting for help, so these signs should not be relied upon to determine what is happening. The majority of drowning victims do not exhibit any cries for help while experiencing this response. Left brain and right brain. There is no absolute division of brain functions between the two cerebral hemispheres. Certain functions, such as speech and language, typically activate one hemisphere more than the other when performing specific tasks. If a person experiences damage to or removal of one hemisphere at a young age, these functions are often partially or even fully recovered by the remaining hemisphere. Other functions, such as motor control, memory, and reasoning, are handled equally by both hemispheres. The more megapixels, the better the image quality. People knowledgeable about cameras understand that the number of megapixels is not the only factor determining image quality. Unfortunately, manufacturers take advantage of users' lack of understanding by using this relatively easy-to-grasp figure to guide consumers into believing that the best way to take better photos is to spend money on cameras and smartphones with higher megapixel counts. Other factors that impact image quality, such as the sensor and image signal processor, are rarely highlighted by manufacturers in their marketing. Sweat helps detoxify the body. Sweat glands are located within human skin and are not connected to any other system or organ in the body. Therefore, they cannot remove toxins from the body. Sweat is composed of water, salt, and electrolytes, so it only serves to cool the body. Chili pepper. The heat of a chili pepper is not concentrated in the seeds. In fact, the seeds contain very little capsaicin, the compound responsible for the spicy sensation in mammals. The part with the highest concentration of capsaicin is actually the pith that connects the seeds to the pepper's flesh. The sun. The sun is not yellow. Rather, it emits light across the full spectrum of visible colors, and this combined light appears white when outside of Earth's atmosphere. Earth's atmosphere scatters shorter wavelengths of light, particularly blues and violets, more than longer wavelengths like reds and yellows, and this scattering is why the sun appears yellow during the day or orange or red during sunrise and sunset. Bull. Bulls do not get angry because they see the red color on a matador's cloth. What we see as red, they perceive as gray, and the brightest color they can see is orange. So, red is not a striking color for them. Bulls attack the matador simply because they perceive them as a threat. Bats? Bats are not blind. About 70% of bat species, mainly in the suborder Microchiroptera, use echolocation for navigation, but all bat species have eyes and can see. Additionally, almost all species in the fruit bat family do not use echolocation and can see very well in the dark. Mice and cheese. Mice don't particularly like eating cheese and will actually only eat it if there are no better options. They typically prefer foods that are sweet. Carrots. The beta-carotene in carrots does not improve night vision in people with normal eyesight. This only applies to those who are deficient in vitamin A. This belief may have originated from a misinformation campaign during World War II to explain why the British Royal Air Force was more effective in night combat, when in fact it was due to the use of radar and red indicator lights on control panels. Learning methods. Everyone learns in similar ways. Specifically, there is no evidence to support the existence of different learning styles or to show that teaching methods tailored to these styles improve information retention. Viking helmets. There is no evidence that Vikings ever wore horned helmets. Such helmets would have been very impractical in combat. In fact, the image of Vikings wearing horned helmets originates from the costumes used in the 1876 performance of Richard Wagner's opera Der Ring der Nibelungen. The brain only uses 10% of its capacity. This is a very common misconception. While it is true that only a small percentage of neurons are active at any given moment, the inactive neurons are still important. This misconception became popular in the early 20th century and is believed to have originated from William James, who likely used the statement as a metaphor. Myopia. Reading in low light or looking at computer and phone screens for extended periods does not damage eyesight, though it can cause temporary eye strain. Myopia is more closely related to genetic factors and the development of the eye during childhood. Columbus discovers America. Christopher Columbus was not the first European to set foot in America. Leif Erikson, and possibly other Vikings, had reached Canada as early as the 10th century, while Columbus landed on Guanahani in 1492, now known as San Salvador, an island in the Bahamas. Even after his discovery of America, Columbus remained unaware of this fact until his death. He believed he had found a western sea route to Asia, or the Indies, which was his original goal when embarking on the journey. This misconception is why he referred to the native tribes as Indians. Nobel Award. Alfred Nobel did not omit mathematics in the Nobel Prize due to a rivalry with mathematician Gösta Mittag-Leffler, as there is little evidence the two ever met, nor was it because Nobel's spouse had an affair with a mathematician, as Nobel was never married. The more likely explanation is that Nobel believed mathematics was too theoretical to benefit humankind, as well as his personal lack of interest in the field. Rabbit and carrot. Rabbits are not especially partial to carrots. Their diet in the wild primarily consists of dark green vegetables, such as grasses and clovers, and excessive carrot consumption is unhealthy for them due to containing high levels of sugar. This misconception originated from Bugs Bunny cartoons. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video today. I hope this video has provided you with useful information. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming videos. See you in the next ones.